Hello, Shalom. Welcome to day 36 of the Daily Bread. We'll be reading from Genesis 46, Judges 18, Psalms 46, Proverbs 5, and Mark 5. We'll be reading from the book of the Scriptures, 2009 version, Genesis 46, found on page 51. And Israel, Jacob, set out with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and slaughtered slaughterings to the Elohim of his father Isaac. And Elohim spoke to Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here I am. And he, Yeshua, said, I am the Elohim of your father. Do not be afraid to go down to Mitsrayim, for I shall make you there a great nation. I myself am going down with you to Mitsrayim, and I myself shall certainly bring you up again. And let Joseph put his hand on your eyes. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel, Jacob, brought their father Jacob and their little ones and their wives in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to transport him. And they took their livestock and their property which they had acquired in the land of Canaan, and came into Mitsrayim. Jacob and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons, and his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed he brought with him to Mitsrayim. And these were the names of the children of Israel, Jacob and his sons, who came into Mitsrayim. Reuben, who was Jacob's firstborn, and the sons of Reuben were Hanak, and Palu, Hesru, and Kamri. And the sons of Shimon were Yamal, Yamin, Ohad, Yakin, Sohar, and Saul, sons of a Canaanite woman. And the sons of Levi, Gershon, Kohath, Merab. And the sons of Judah, and Onan, and Salah, and Peretz, and Zerah. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Peretz were Hetzer and Hamel. And the sons of Yishkar, Tola, and Puah, and Yob, and Shimron. And the sons of Zebulun, Sered, and Elon, and Yahuel. These are the sons of Leah, whom she bore to Jacob in Padanaram with his daughter Dinah. All these beings his sons, his daughters, were 33. And the sons of Gad, Siphon, and Hagi, Suni, and Esbon, and Eri, and Aradi, and Arariel. And the sons of Asher, Yeman, and Yeshua, and Yawai, Beri, and Sarah their sister. And the sons of Beri were Heber, and Malkiel. These are the sons of Zephlon, whom Laban gave to Leah, his daughter, and these she bore to Jacob, 16 beings. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph and Benjamin. And to Joseph in the land of Mitsrayim were born Menish and Ephraim, whom Asenth, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bore to him. And the sons of Benjamin, Bala, and Becher, and Ashbel, Gerah, Nahamron, Ehi, Rosh, Muppin, Huppin, and Arad. These were the sons of Rachel who were born to Jacob, 14 beings in all. And the sons of Dan, Hushim. And the sons of Naphtali, Yaphsili, and Gonai, and Yisur, and Shemli. These are the sons of Bilhad, who gave Laban to Rachel, his daughter, and she bore these to Jacob 7 beings in all. And all these beings who went with Jacob to Mitsrayim, who came from his body, besides Jacob's sons' wives, were 66 beings in all. And the sons of Joseph, who were born to him in Mitsrayim, were 2 beings. All the beings of the house of Jacob who went to Mitsrayim were 70. And he sent Judah before him to Joseph to point out before him the way to Goshen. And they came to the land of Goshen, and Joseph made ready his chariot, and went up to Goshen to meet his father Israel. And he appeared to him, and fell on his neck, and wept on his neck a long time. And Israel said to Joseph, Now let me die, since I have seen your face, that you are still alive. And Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's household, I am going up to inform Pharaoh, and to say to him, My brothers and those of my father's house, who were in the land of Canaan, have come to me. The men are shepherds, that they have been men of livestock, and they have brought their flocks and their herds and all they have. And it shall be, when Pharaoh calls you and says, What is your occupation? That you shall say, Your servants have been men of livestock from your youth, even till now, both we and also our fathers, so that you dwell in the land of Goshen. For every shepherd is an abomination to the Mitsrayites. Judges 18, found on page 273. We were just introduced into the character of Micah, so the last one, and he took on a Levite priest. In those days there were no sovereigns in Israel, and in those days the tribe of the Danites were seeking an inheritance for itself to dwell in. For until that day all their inheritance among the tribes of Israel had not yet fallen on them. And the children of Dan sent 5 men of their clan, brave men, from Shahorah and Esau, to spy out the land and search it. And they said to them, Go, search the land. So they went to the mountains of Ephraim, to the house of Micah, and spent the night there. When they were there, the house of Micah was recognized. They recognized the voice of a young Levite, and turned aside and said to him, Who brought you here? What are you doing in this place? And what do you have here? And he said to them, Micah did such and such for me, and he hired me, and I have become his priest. And they said to him, Please inquire of Elohim, and we shall know whether the journey on which we are going is prosperous. And the priest said to them, Go in peace. Your journey is on which you go is before Yahweh. Then the 5 men left and came to Laish, and saw the people who were in their midst, how they dwelt safely according to the ruling of the Sidonians, at rest and unsuspecting, and no one possessing authority in the land, which was reproaching for any matter. And they were far from the Sidonians, and they had no word with anyone. And the spies came back to their brothers at Shahor and Esau, and their brothers said to them, What do you say? And they said, Arise, let us go up against them, for we have seen the land, and look, it is very good. And you sit still. Do not hesitate, do not go to enter into possession of the land. When you go, you are to come to an unsuspecting people, and the land is spacious, for Elohim has given it into your hands. a place in which there is no lack of any matter which is on the earth. And 600 men of the clan of Danites went from there, from Sahor and Esor, armed for battle. And they went up and encamped in Kireth, Yerim, and Judah. Therefore they called that place Mahanath Dan to this day. See, it is west of Kireth Yerim. And they passed over from there to the mountains of Ephraim, and came to the house of Micah. And the 5 men who had gone to spy out the land of Laish answered and said to their brothers, "Do you know that there are in these houses a shoulder garment, and house idols, and a carved image, and a molded image? Now you know what to do." And they turned aside there and came to the house of the young Levite man, the house of Micah, and greeted him. And 600 men, armed for battle, who were of the children of Dan, stood at the entrance of the gate. And the 5 men who had gone to spy out the land went up, and entering there, they took the carved image, and the shoulder garment, and the house idols, and the molded image, while the priest stood at the entrance of the gate with the 600 men who were armed for battle. And these went into Micah's house, and took the idol, and the shoulder garment, and the house idols, and the molded image. And the priest said to them, "What are you doing?" And they said to him, "Be silent, put your hand over your mouth, and come with us, and be a father and a priest to us. Is it better for you to be a priest in the household of one man, or that you be a priest to a tribe and a clan in Israel?" And the heart of the priest was glad, and he took the shoulder garment, and the house idols, and the carved image, and took his place among the people. And they turned and went, and put the little ones and livestock and the valuables in front of them. They had gone some distance from the house of Micah, when the men were in the house of Micah's house gathered together, and overtook the children of Dan, and called out to the children of Dan. So they turned around and said to Micah, "What is the matter, that you have gathered such a company?" And he said, "You have taken away my mighty ones, which I made, and the priest, and you are leaving. Now what more do I have? What is this you say to me? What is this matter?" And the children of Dan said to him, "Do not let your voice be heard among us. These men, bitter of being, fall upon you, and you lose your life with the lives of your household." And the children of Dan went their way. And when Micah saw that they were too strong for him, he turned and went back to his house. And they took what Micah had made, and the priest who had belonged to him, and went on to Laish, to a people who were at rest and unsuspected. And they struck them with the edge of the sword, and burned the city with fire. And there was no deliverer, because it was far from Sidon. And they had no word with anyone. And it was in the valley that belongs to Beth Rehob that they built the city and dwelt there. And they called the name of that city Dan, after the name of Dan their father, who was born in it to Israel. But previously the name of the city was Laish. And the children of Dan set up for themselves the carved image, and Jonathan, son of Gershom, son of Benesh, and his sons were priests to the tribe of Dan until the day the land was taken into exile. And they set up for themselves the carved image of Micah, the carved images of Micah, which he had made all the days of the house of Elohim was in Shiloh. Psalms 46 on page 672. Elohim is our refuge and strength, a help in distress soon found. Therefore we do not fear, though the earth reels and mountains topple into the heart of the seas. Let its waters rage foam, let mountains shake with its swelling Salah. A river whose streams make glad the city of Elohim, the set-apart dwelling in the Most High, of the Most High. Elohim is in her midst. She does not topple. Elohim does help her when morning turns. The nation shall rage, the rain shall topple. He shall give forth his voice. The earth melts. Yahweh of hosts is with us. The Elohim of Jacob is our refuge. Salah. Come, see the works of Yahweh, the ruins he has wrought on the earth, causing all fighting to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaks the bow, and shatters the spear. He burns the chariots with fire. Be still and know that I am Elohim. I am exalted among nations. I am exalted in the earth. Yahweh of hosts is with us. The Elohim of Jacob is our refuge. Salah. Proverbs 5, page 733. My son, listen to my wisdom. Incline your ear to my understanding, so as to watch over discretion, and your lips guard knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drip honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But in the end she is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lay hold of Sheol. She does not consider the path of life. Her ways are unstable. You do not know it. So now listen to me, you children, and do not turn away from the words of my mouth. Keep your way far from her, and do not come near the door of her house, lest you give splendor to others, and your years to one who is cruel. Lest strangers be filled with your strength, and your labors go to the house of the foreigner. Then you shall howl in your latter end, when your flesh and your body are consumed. And they shall say, how have I hated discipline, and my heart has despised reproof. And I have heeded the voice of my teachers, and have not inclined my ear to those who instructed me. In a little while I was in all evil, in the midst of the assembly and congregation. Drink water from your own cistern, and running water from your own well. Should your springs be scattered abroad, rivers of water in the streets, let them be only your own, and not for strangers with you. Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of your youth. A loving deer and a pleasant doe, let her nipple satisfy you at all times, and be captivated by her love always. For why should you know, my son, be captivated by a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a foreigner? For the ways of man are before the eyes of Yah, and he considers all his paths. The wrong one is entrapped in his own crookedness. He is caught in the cords of his sin. He dies for lack of discipline, and in the greatness of his folly he goes astray. On the Mark 5, found on page 961. And they came to the other side of the sea, to the country of the Gadarenes. And when he, Yeshua, came out of the boat, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwellings among the tombs. And no one was able to bind him, not even with chains, because he had been bound with shackles and chains, but the chains had been pulled apart by him, and the shackles broken in pieces, and no one was able to tame him. And continually, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying out, cutting himself with the stones. And seeing Yeshua from a distance, he ran and bowed down to him, and having called out with a loud voice, said, "What have I to do with you, Yeshua, Son of the Most High El? Swear to Elohim not to torture me." And he said to him, "Come out of the man, unclean spirit." And he was asking him, "What is your name?" And he answered, saying, "My name is Legion, because we are many." And he begged them very much that he would not send them out of the country. Now a great herd of pigs was there, feeding near the mountains. And all the demons begged him, saying, "Send us to the pigs, so that we enter into them." And he gave them permission. And the unclean spirits came out and entered into the pigs. They were about 2,000, and the herd rushed down the steep place into the sea and drowned in the sea. And those who fed the pigs fled and reported it to the city in the country. And they went out to see what had taken place. So they came to Yeshua and saw the demon-possessed one, him who had the legion, sitting and dressed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. And those who saw it related to them what was done to the demon-possessed one and about the pigs. And they began to plead with him to leave their borders. And as he was entering into the boat, he who had been demon-possessed begged him that he might be with him. And Yeshua did not allow him, but said, "Go home to your friends and report to them what the Master has done for you, and how he has compassion on you." And he left, and he began to proclaim in Decapolis that Yeshua had done for him, and was all marveled. And when Yeshua had passed over again by boat to the other side, a large crowd assembled to him. And he was by the sea. And see, one of the rulers of the congregation came, Yari by name, and when he saw him, he fell at his feet and begged him strongly, saying, "My little daughter lies at the point of death. Come, lay your hands on her and heal her, and she shall live." And he went with him, and a large crowd was following him, and they were thronging him. And a certain woman had a flow of blood for 20 years, and had suffered much that many physicians, and spent all that she had, and was no better, but rather than became worse. Having heard Yeshua, she came behind him in the crowd and touched his garment. For she said, "If I only touch his garments, I shall be made well." And immediately the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body, and she was healed of the affliction. And immediately Yeshua, knowing in himself that power had gone out of him, turned around in the crowds and said, "Who touched my garments?" And his taught one said to him, "You see the crowd is thronging you, and you say, 'Who touched me?'" And he was looking around to see her who did this. And the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done to her, came and fell down before him and spoke to him all the truth. And he said to her, "Daughter, your belief has healed you. Go in peace and be relieved from your affliction." And he was And as he was speaking, they came from the ruler of the congregation's house, saying to him, "Your daughter is dead. Why trouble the teacher any further?" But having heard the word that was spoken, Yeshua said to the ruler of the congregation, "Do not be afraid, only believe." And he allowed no one to follow him except Peter and Jacob and John, the brother of Jacob. So they came to the house of the ruler of the congregation and saw a commotion and much weeping and lament. And coming in, he said to them, "Why make this commotion and weep? The child has not died, but is sleeping." And they were laughing at him. And when he had put them all out, he took the father and the mother of the child, and those who were with him, and went in where the child was lying. And taking the child by the hand, he said to her, "Tali Kumim," which translates, "Little girl, I say to you, rise." And immediately the girl rose up and was walking, for she was 12 years old, and they were completely astonished. But he ordered them many times that no one should know it, and said that she should be given food to eat. Shalom. Make it a great day. Read your Bible and talk to the Father.